Hello everybody, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and I'm just getting myself set up for my little seed growing experiment. If you watched the last video, you will have seen 4. You'd have seen 5 of these batches of seeds in the video, and I actually had another seed pack arrive today from another supplier, which is Rollinia exuca. So I've got the Rollinia exuca seeds, Narangilla, or it might be pronounced Naranjilla, mountain papaya, Colombian red guava, the blackberry jam fruit, and Annona purpurea, which the common name of is Cincoya. So what I'm going to do with these seeds is I've set up some pots of water. I'm going to soak them overnight and then use a variety of methods to sow them tomorrow. Some I'll probably put straight into pots like the guava, as they've proved quite easy to germinate before, and probably the Naranjilla as well, because I think that'll be a bit like germinating the Tamarillo, which was quite straightforward. But I think for the blackberry jam fruit and the Annona and the Rollinia, I shall probably put those into sort of sterilised soil in bags, damp, to see how we go, because that seems to be working for the soursop. So I'll just stop the video for the moment and progress with taking the seeds out and putting them in the water. So here we are back with them in the water. These are the various seeds now. You can see the different sizes and shapes. That's the Rollinia. Very small for an Annona family, nothing like the size that I'm used to seeing. They are in there, the Naranjilla, small. Mountain papaya seeds seem to be much lighter than normal papaya seeds. Colombian red guava, the blackberry jam fruit, and finally the Annona purpurea, or Cincoya seeds, which, as you can see, the sort of size I'd expect. I have scraped the casings on some of the hard seeds to see if they soak up water and germinate quicker, but I've done kind of 50-50, so I've sort of chipped the seed casings on some of the guavas but not all. Same for the blackberry jam fruit and the Annona purpurea, so I don't know if it'll make any difference on germination rates. We can move around to the side now. So I'm going to let these soak overnight, and then we'll come back to this video tomorrow on Sunday and see what methods we're going to use to plant some of them up. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Welcome back everybody. Continuing on from my video I started last night where I was soaking these seeds, I've now got myself, it's the next day, that was Saturday evening, and I just decided to soak the seeds overnight. I've got myself prepared now, it's Sunday, to do a mixture of potting and bagging. Now I've already made up some compost, and normally I sort of mix perlite with coconut coir with a regular potting compost, but I haven't got any perlite and I haven't got any regular potting compost. So what I've done is I've used vermiculite this time, which I don't like as much as perlite because it holds the moisture longer, and I don't really want the moisture to be held. And I've mixed that with equal parts of coir, and I've used citrus compost instead because most tropicals prefer a slightly acidic soil anyway. So I've made that mix up there, and what I've done is I've taken a batch of it and I've microwaved it for a few minutes to make sure it's completely sterile, because I have had a lot of problems with sort of microscopic bugs and fungi and fungus gnats in my seeds when I'm trying to grow them, and the moulds, which seem to kill them before they actually get growing properly. So I've sterilised that for a few minutes in the microwave. I've also washed the pots that I'm going to use and sterilised those in the microwave for a few minutes, so hopefully I've eradicated most of the bug issues I'm likely to have. I'm mostly going to pop them straight in compost. In the case of the Naranjilla, or Narangilla, that'll go, which is in the Solanum family, the same as Tamarillo, that'll go straight into compost. I'm going to do half and half on the Rollinia exuca, I'm going to do half in a pot and half in one of these little bags like this. Now I've ordered several of these little snap or push lock bags, but unfortunately they haven't turned up yet, so I'm going to reuse a couple I've got and make sure I label them. I think that I'll probably put all of the mountain papaya straight in the pots. I can't see if there's any benefit putting in a bag. Perhaps I'll try 3 or 4 in a little bag just in case. The guavas I've not had too much trouble with germinating before, and they're also a bit fiddly, so I think they'll go straight into a pot. And for the last two, the Annona purpurea and the blackberry jam fruit, I'm going to put half in a pot and half in compost bags, as that seems to be working well for my soursop at the moment. So I'm not actually going to film planting up the seeds for the simple reason that I haven't got a tripod available, and there's no way that I could hold this tablet and film with one hand and plant seeds and fill up pots with the other. So I'll come back once I've done some of the bagging and labelling to finish off the video. Oh, and one thing I probably forgot to mention a little bit earlier on the video, which is why I've come back to it: when you've microwaved your soil, do let it cool down for an hour or so before you use it. This is currently extremely hot, and there is a possibility that you would you could possibly damage the seeds, especially delicate seeds, if you put them into baking hot soil. So I would recommend you give it a good sort of half an hour to an hour outside to cool down to slightly tepid or even cool will be fine before you plant the seeds. So we'll carry on back with what I was doing and come back after I finished. So I did forget when I was doing the pulling the seeds out earlier and just videoing them, and also soaking the ones last night, I did forget that I'd popped these ones in the cupboard that came with the same seed order, and that had already started to grow. So what I'm going to do is just tip these out, if I can, one-handed onto a kitchen roll and have a look and see what we've got. Need to be a little bit careful with these. Yeah, I think you can probably see if I can manage to focus in on them now that I've disturbed them, that there's actually, these are the cherry of the Rio Grandes. You can probably see there and there and there that most of these are already germinated. I'll put a little bit of damp coir in with them just to keep them damp for a day or two until I could repot them. So I'm going to put these in pots now, and I'll probably put I'll have to see how many seeds I've got. I'll probably put 2 or 3 in a pot, because they should be okay in there for a few weeks once they come up. So and I'll add those to the other plants I've potted up and bagged up, the other seeds, sorry, that I've potted up and bagged up today, and then come back to those in a few minutes' time. Well, that's that task finished now with all those seeds. Had to come inside because we had some rain showers, and typically enough it's now sunny again. Now what I've basically done here is, because I've got a slight surplus of seeds, I've put some into bags with my sterilised soil, so some blackberry jam fruit, Annona purpurea, Relinia, and the mountain papaya, and the rest I've put into pots, and I've put sort of mostly several seeds in one pot, because I can always thin them out later if I have any luck with them coming up. Now I'm going to put these in an unheated propagator with just a clear lid over the top to hold the humidity in them. They shouldn't need bottom heat at this time of the year, because although it's not warm here in the UK, we should have temperatures in the sort of 20 to 24 centigrade mark, so sort of between 68 and about 75, and that's normally enough for these tropicals to germinate, because it's quite consistent heat. And the other thing you need to point out is these are only lightly moist. I make the mistake that a lot of people do with overwatering my seeds. They don't need to be wet, they just need to be slightly moist, because if they're wet they're going to be prone to rot on the new roots. The seeds are likely to rot, and also they'll attract fungus gnats. And if I just keep them slightly moist, the humidity within the propagator lid should keep them moist enough to germinate. So that was the continuation video from the one yesterday, or from earlier in the week when I got the seeds, and from the video yesterday where I soaked them in water overnight, and I've now got them all potted up and labelled. You'll see that I put the date of sowing on them, 26th of July. Give me some idea how quickly some of these will germinate, how slowly they'll germinate, or in some cases none at all, because you never know how viable the seeds will be for the more exotic plants. But obviously I'll do updates in the future. Thanks everybody for watching my seed experiment video. Much appreciate you watching. Please give me a like. You can share the video if you think anyone might be interested. Please subscribe to my channel, and of course if you hit the bell you'll get notified as and when I put new videos relating to these seeds and other plants. Have a great day. I'll catch up with everybody soon.